Hey guys, it's Venomated here. And today I'm going to do a life story, but it's not going to be any life story. My life. Yeah. So there's going to be a couple parts of this because I don't want to like put it all into like 15-minute videos. So it's going to be some parts. Here's part one. So my story starts on November 14th, 2000. Yep. And here's a picture of me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wasn't that ugly, but I was a pretty chubby baby though. And I was born from, a mom and a dad, and whoever little kid says, oh yeah, I have two moms, well, I'm sorry, you're just, no. So then, after I was born in the women's hospital in our hometown, Winnipeg, hmm and so, since I'm First Nation, and if you guys don't know, that's like Native American, and I live in Canada, so, yeah, so, so we moved to Peguis, is my treaty, or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. And after that, we moved to Winnipeg and we lived on a couple of houses, I remember. Like, I remember one on Church. I'm just trying to think. Church, Aberdeen. But Aberdeen was the one I remember the most because that was the one where my family was divorced. I was 4 at the time, and that was a real struggle for me back then. I I felt like my worlds were getting swept apart from them telling me which one to live with. I couldn't make that decision, getting depressed in that, so they made the decision for me, and they decided for me to live with my dad. So I lived with my dad, and I was about 5. We moved in on a street, St. John's Avenue. So we lived there for about a good year, me and my dad happily ever after. Then just like 3 houses down our row, he met a nice lady called, well, I don't want to give her name out, let's just call her Lady. So he met this lady and we moved in and they started talking. So we moved in right after Christmas, I remember. Then, um, and that's where I probably lived for the past 5 years. And sadly, she died on 9/9/09, the day, a day that like, it, it's not. I'm not trying to say meant to be, but it was kind of redundant 9/9/09. And that was the day that school started, so I was crying my eyeballs out in that. But speaking of school, that is probably the school I went to for the past 5 years, and I met some good friends there. One of them being Ballistic Jagged, you don't know, Ethan. I met some others. There's this Josh, some other people, Zach, Zach. Then in grade, then when it was coming to grade 5, I moved away because I had to move because we were getting kicked out of the house. So then after we moved out, we moved into a even ghettoer house than what we lived in, but we lived in the nicest house on like the ghetto street. So after that, I moved in with my mom because my dad had met another lady but they fighted often, so I had to move in with her. But this is where I am today. We moved into a couple more houses and that, but it's coming to an end, so I'll see you in part 2. Peace. Come in.